Going to be another Harley B video. We're going to cover the bicycle engines, and we're going to make a video here about how to get your tractor ready. I've already replaced the spark plug. That's the simple no-brainer. The air filter's been clogged. She's dirty. We're going to take the pressure washer to her. There's not too much you can hurt on a tractor. They're pretty much an all-weather machine. I try not to get the electronics wet. I'll clean that with something else, a toothbrush or whatever. You'll get to see it in the next video, but I wanted to show you something else. We have the tractor cover off. We have some dented items here. We're going to heat them up with the torch, which is the other product I wanted to get out of the barn here. We're going to move this. I actually got a tripod because I'm so sick of moving the camera. I'm throwing the old piston around like a football. Here's another torch, another type of torch. I wanted to keep it here so it's length. You're not paying attention to me. If you have bent parts, this takes a lot longer. It's a propane torch. You can keep it on with this button, or you can use that big rig there that I have set up. That's the big leagues, unless you want to get really big tanks. I can carry those around in the truck, and it's pretty versatile versus having a larger setup. I like it. But for you guys out here, I've been getting a lot of calls about the bad wrist pins and pistons. I stock my own. I get my own wrist pins. I don't make them. The hole, actually, even on this new piston, you can actually almost see that that hole is undersized. But what to do once you understand that when you have a bad piston or a wrist pin, a lot of people will have the bicycle, the rear wheel will be locking up on the bike. I don't like this because the camera's down a little bit. I want to see if I can tilt this forward. The problem that's going along with this, and I want to get your attention, maybe the tripod's going to be a hindrance. When you go to get your new rings, right there, there's a little pip mark right there. You can see that little dot, and then there's one for the bottom, from the bottom compression ring. And the open end of the arrow should face up, and that should face down. It's almost like an arrow, but the arrow faces down. A lot of people don't know how to change this component out once they realize they have a problem. But the rear wheel with the bicycle locking up, that is a large problem. And there's been a batch of the flying horses out. I got a call. Not everybody has one. And one guy just told me, he says, I just bought one. He says, in January, he says, everything's fine. I said that. You either get a good one or you get a bad one, and you can have problems. Okay? People want speed. Here in the hills, because we have a lot of hills to pull and we need more torque, our bikes may not go as fast because we're not using a smaller sprocket. You're going to get a little more speed on the flatlands. That's another big confusion. People call me all the time, well, what kind of sprocket do I want? This will help you pull a hill. There's even larger ones, but I think they slow you down too much. This limits you to a speed. When I tell you my bikes will reach this speed, sometimes I'll change to a smaller sprocket. But you're not going to get as much low-end torque. You're going to get more high-end once you get inertia up on the bike, and you're not really going to pull steep hills. I don't care what the two cycle's putting out. This is more utilitarian for where I live up here in Pennsylvania. There's a hill at every other block that you're going to. But in saying that, getting your equipment ready for spring, knowing what to use, and knowing how to fix something, because if you got a brand new engine, it's going to cost you a few gaskets, and Bikeberry, as you heard them, is not going to give them to you. So get your stuff ready. As I told you, in the middle of the winter, I work on things, I do things. The time you need it is not the time to fix it. Like the tractor, I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to go out to Tractor Supply. You can use YouTube. As I said, it's the most useful thing. You can learn about products. They might tell you something, but maybe they don't tell you enough. I like the people that call me. I'm getting letters from Scotland and stuff. people are asking me. Redoing an engine and doing it right and making sure the piston goes up and down inside the bore, the cylinder, and so forth. That's what my phone number, the Harley B phone number, is out there in the other ads. I didn't have it in this one. I'm actually working on my tractor, getting it ready for spring, but I said, what a better opportunity to tell people that when you have a bent tractor deck and it's all full of this stuff and it's all around the belts and the pulleys, to take your, if you have enough gumption that maybe, you know, you have enough knowledge to get your deck off, and then things are bent like this. I have a rough lot here. It's country, and then that up there I lease off the coal company, a little bit of the back of the property. I got a kind of an amicable agreement with them. I leave them alone, give them a couple bucks, they leave me alone. But when you have stuff that broke and now it needs to be welded again, that was welded once. Somebody did a meatball weld. But I wouldn't give this tractor up. This is a 1969 Cub Cadet 1210. I want you to look at that puppy. I had two engines. The first one I bought off of Eckroth Brothers failed. They wanted to charge me another $700 for another engine, and I realized that that one wasn't going to run because the head spacing wasn't right, and the piston was contacting the top of the head, so something in the bottom of the engine was bad. I ran it for about 2-3 weeks before I shit-canned it and told them I wasn't going to pay them. They kept sending me bill after bill after bill. I'm not about happy the clown engines, but as you can see, that engine that I rebuilt there, now that's going on 6 years old. That son of a gun really hums. It's really a piece of equipment, but I had to do all of it myself because I can't rely on a shop. I just called Lowe's for a air filter for that. There's only really 2 stores here. Up in Hillbilly Heaven, everything here is a stretch. It's $10-15 in gas just to go here or there, down the mountain. It's why I keep everything in stock. Nothing's convenient. I have to get it off the internet, or I have to rely on $10-15 in gas. I call Lowe's, the guy answers, and I tell him I need an air filter. It's a 7-inch circumference, and it has a foam filter around it, and it's 1.5 inch, 1 5/8 thick. He doesn't even have a tape measure, but he works at a Lowe's. What kind of idiot are you? What kind of idiots do they hire? Uneducated idiots? Well, what kind of tractor is it for? It's a 1969 Cub Cadet 1210. Well, I don't think our catalog, I know your catalogs don't do that, but usually most of the big box stores had been calling that filter, but at this time of the year they can be out of it. So that's why I enlighten people that even though you have a Lowe's, you might have a Tractor Supply and another option, but at this time of the year there's commercial shops. If they fix lawnmowers and tractors, I do, but I don't fix them on a large ratio. But they might go buy the stores out if they have a good enough price or whatever. They're going to be cleaned out. So you got to go on to the next store. Then I'm wasting $20 in gas versus calling the first place and finding out if they have it. But if the guy's too stupid to know if they have it, I'm out of luck. They don't even give you a dimensional picture in the back of the book. Years ago, catalogs, I remember working in speed shops and stuff. I grew up in one. The speed shop, we always had catalogs with pictures and stuff. We could match stuff up by dimension. It was called cross-referencing. Don't forget to grease. I clean my grease fittings off. If the grease fitting's bad, I'll heat it up. I'll pull it out of there without trying to damage the bearing. I don't put too much heat on it. Sometimes that's a task in itself, knowing how much heat to use and how much heat not to use. Not everything's a given. You got to develop a level of skill for that stuff. But this, even with a cheapo propane torch, if you put enough heat on it long enough, especially on a nice hot summer day, if not, you got to rely on that. This is fairly thick old metal. That's why I kept the tractor. You just can't destroy these tractors. Stem to stern, transmission. I had a brand new Cub Cadet. I forget what the model was. I took it right back. I wanted to show you something which is entertaining. I'm doing this for a laugh, but I always say to people I got a big ass. I mean, I'm only 200 pounds. Only might not sound, if you're dating, maybe that doesn't sound right, but I'm not a girl. Right here on the brand new tractor, the hinges where the seat was, it broke all out. So I just told them at Tractor Supply to take it and send it back to the Chinese, figure out what they did wrong, like making the metals too thin. It was embarrassing. This thing, I could kick it. It's like a tank. And that's what I do with it. I pull this cart, even this cart full of dirt, and the transmission, the engine, the power, it handles it. I wouldn't tell you folks to do that with a new one. Even a wheelbarrow doesn't come today with a decent wheel that you can use. Everything's a scam. I'm going to replace this with the plastic and make it like that one, like a brick shit house, as I call it. I build stuff to last me. I'm going to do this plow setup too. I'm going to have that on YouTube. How to redo a plow truck. This is what you're left with, and I'm going to end the video. It's a short one. But getting ready for spring and having stuff ready to go, stuff that's fraying or whatever, I'm going to weld that up, take out maybe the stick welder and stick weld that. You can do a lot for yourself with the right tools and learning how to use them. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Take something apart. If you destroy it, you can usually always fix it, especially if it's made of metal. You can put a patch in, blow the patch, cut it out, put another one in once you learn what you're doing. Don't be afraid to do things for yourself. It's what the young people are afraid of. Okay? Don't heat up a grease fitting too much that you have a grease fire and you destroy the bearing and the belt. Learn to clean stuff. It functions better when it's clean than when it's all gunked up and you can't, deal with it. So, in saying that, I like people to be able to help themselves. Going over stuff and not being lazy. Don't drink too much. Stay away from dope. Learn to do things for yourself. It's a given. As you can see, even my stuff, I haven't put stuff away yet. It's not as neat and tidy as I want it yet, but it'll get there. I don't like the appearance here that I'm even giving on video, but it'll get there. I got work to do on the fence. I have broken things. I want to get this metal roof put on here. I have a lot of stuff I want to do, folks. If you don't buy anything from me, you can't help me. But there it is. There's a deck. It's dented on all the corners here. Like I said, it's a rough lot to cut. Maybe your tractor looks like that. My next video, I'll show you how it turns out. It's only a couple seconds of video, and there it'll be. You'll see it all fixed, welded up. Thank you.